face-off between Northern Illinois and Coastal Carolina. They're playing that one at Exploria Stadium down in Orlando. Coastal Carolina, 10.5-point favorite with a total of 63.5. This is a team that's, drawn your ire, to say the least. Northern Illinois has been a team that it's been the opposite of snake bit. They've been in so many close games, found a way to win, and really playing their best football coming in. But I think there's a reason why this game is handicapped, in the double digits. And it's an interesting fact here. The MAC champion in the last 9 bowl games is 1-8 straight up. They just keep losing in these spots. And Coastal Carolina obviously has built up a national reputation seemingly overnight, but I still think they're riding a little bit of last year's coattails in terms of their overall performance. They go 4-2 down the stretch. They get Grayson McCall back, but they were in a 1-possession game with Troy. They need to go to overtime against South Alabama. So I think there's some vulnerability here. I'm actually going to call my shot. You got to have a diversified bowl portfolio. And by that, I mean, you got to take a lot of underdogs, and you got to take some big underdogs to win outright, because seemingly it happens every single bowl season. So the fact that I can get close to plus 350 on my money, I'm going to take a Northern Illinois team that's playing really well. And here's the last piece of it for me. Last year, Coastal was so dynamic on offense with the run and the pass, but it was really their defense that kept them in every single game that they played and gave them a chance to slow down dynamic offenses. They're just not the same against the run this year as they were last year. And when you look at Northern Illinois, top 5 in rushing yards per game, they're the number 1 big play rushing offense in the country with more 30-plus yard runs than any other team. And all of this has led to a MAC championship and a 9-4 overall record. And they did it despite horrible turnover luck, 94th in turnover margin. So in a small sample size in one game, I think if they get a few bounces go their way, I think they're a live dog here. So I'm going to take Northern Illinois. What do you think about this team that is led by Rocky Lombardi, one of your favorites? Are you going to finally give him his due, or are you going to sit this one out?
There's 0.0 chance I bet this game, because I mean, first of all, you have to make sure, is McCall going to play, is likely going to play. You got to make sure the big guys for Coastal are actually playing this game. I mean, I haven't heard anything that they're not, so I would assume they are. The big thing, I mean, how I feel about Northern Illinois. I mean, Coastal Carolina is 10th in the country in rushing success. They are 9th in line yards. Northern Illinois is 126th in rush defense and 128th in line yards. Coastal Carolina should blow the doors off of this team. But every team that Northern Illinois has played should have blown the doors off them. So I like the money line play. And I told you this yesterday. I actually, if you're going to bet it, I would bet Coastal Carolina -10 and also Northern Illinois money line, because I think you're guaranteed that one of those two happens. I think Coastal either blows the door off them or Northern Illinois wins. I think, you try to play psychologist. Coastal Carolina, pretty disappointing year for them, I would say, by their standards. They were in the New Year's Six discussion last year. They lost to Louisiana, and then I think they dropped that one to Georgia State without McCall, right? So kind of, they expected to be. I think they were the favorites to win the Sun Belt coming into the year. If not, they were definitely up in the discussion. So by their standards, pretty disappointing for Coastal. Northern Illinois, just they've been so lucky all year, and I guess they're good. I'll finally admit they're a good team, because they create their own luck, and if you keep getting lucky over and over again, at some point you're probably just a good team. So I still think Coastal should blow the doors off them, but I don't know that they will. So I like the Northern Illinois money line play, because I think it's almost just as likely as them covering. So take the shot.
It reminds me a little bit of that stat that gets thrown around in baseball with teams with really good bullpens, where it's what is your record in 1-run games? I think it was the Orioles maybe 6 or 7 years ago when they went to the playoffs, but they won like 80% of their 1-run games. And that was the difference to get into the postseason. And when the sample size is big enough, to your point, it's not just random luck. They have confidence when they get in those situations. And I think Northern Illinois is ready for a battle. They're ready for a tight game in the fourth quarter. And clearly this is a game that's going to matter to them, where Coastal went from a dream season last year, where in their bowl game, they had a chance to put together a perfect season to say to themselves, let's put a banner a la UCF on the outside of our stadium, undefeated national champs. And they fumbled the bag in what was a really good game against Liberty. This feels like a step down. So for those reasons, I think there's a little bit of an emotional edge for Northern Illinois in this game.